Hey guys, so I'm here to do a quick updated eyebrow tutorial just to show you how I've been doing my brows lately. Not too much has changed, but I have kind of grown them out a bit so they're a little bit fuller, and I haven't been sculpting them as much as I have been before. So if you want to see how I've been doing my brows lately, just stay tuned for the tutorial. So here are my eyebrows, all natural. This is how they look with no product on. They have, now they have a natural arch that I've created over time from tweezing and grooming them, you know, daily or every other day. And so now they naturally look like that. And to groom my eyebrows, I tweeze them. I use my Tweezerman pointed, slanted tweezers. So you see they have a very sharp point and they're slanted. These are great for grabbing fine hairs. And I also use my Tweezerman small scissors just for trimming them and keeping them in great shape. And typically what I'll do is just tweeze underneath where there's stray hairs. So now that I have my shape, I know where the extra hairs are. So I just tweeze the extra hair from there and up top. And then what I'll do is brush them up and then trim them in a straight line going across, so there are no like excess long hairs up here. But I don't trim too much, because if you trim too much then you're gonna have sparse little bald spots just randomly throughout your brows. So don't over trim, just trim the very edges rather than like in the middle. Now to fill them in, I start out with a primer. Like any eyeshadow primer, I apply a primer to my brows because my eyebrows do get oily, and this primer will help just keep the product in place and keep them from sweating and smearing all over the place. For the primer, I've been using the Lime Crime Eyeshadow Helper. This is a waterproof eyeshadow primer, and I've just been using this and it's worked out pretty great. It's very tacky, it keeps the products in place, and it keeps it waterproof, so it's a great primer to try out. And I just apply a very small dab of that and kind of run it under my brow and over it. So I'm running it on the actual skin and not through the brow itself. I'm putting it on the skin because that's where the product's gonna be, or the product will slip around. So just run that through the brows and make sure it's blended in. And what I'll do is just grab a toothbrush. This is a clean toothbrush that's just used for my brows, and I'll just groom them into place, make sure that product is completely worked in, and just brush them into place. Then once the primer is dry, I grab my Anastasia Brow Wiz. This is Brunette, and I'm going to use this to fill in my brows. And the great thing about this pencil is that it has a very fine point and a very dry consistency, so I can create hair-like strokes so it can look very natural and just flow with the natural hairs in my brow. And I just follow the natural shape of my brows. Since I have a natural arch now and I like the shape of it, I just follow the same shape and just fill in any sparse areas to make the eyebrow look a bit more defined. So I'm going to go in with the pencil, and I start at the top and just follow that line. You can hold it taut with your, hold your skin taut with your finger if you need to. I just follow that shape, and because that primer is on, it gives us a very dry canvas to work with, so the pencil won't slip and slide. Plus the pencil is also a dry consistency, so I think that is the best thing to do with brows. You don't want your skin to be slippery and the pencil slide all around, and you don't want a soft pencil that's just gonna make a mess of your brows. So you see I just fill in the line at the top of my brow. Then I'm just going to go ahead and fill in the arch. So I'm just doing like long strokes to make a shape. I'm not doing the hair strokes yet. Now I can go in and do light strokes to create or mimic hair, and then just use the pencil to kind of really define that shape. So that's what we'll have. So you can see it coming together really easily. Then I just follow the shape. Just light strokes. You don't want to apply too much pressure to the pencil. And I'm creating an extended tail to my brow because it doesn't come down that far. So I create the tail to kind of match up with the end of my eye. So that's the shape that we've created. Now I'm going to go ahead and just do some light feathery strokes through the front of my brow, but not too much. I'm just doing very light strokes like that. Then I'm gonna grab my Paula Dorf Eye Definer brush, which is just a flat top brush, and I'm gonna lightly go through the brow, the beginning of the brow with this brush. And what this is gonna do is blend in that color and fade it out, so it doesn't look too harsh, like there's a harsh pencil line. It's just nice fine strokes through the brow, so it looks more natural. So just blend in throughout the brow, blending in also at the arch, so pencil line isn't that harsh. And there you have it. That's the filled in brow. So I'm going to fill in the other one and kind of fast forward through it, but you'll still see me doing it. Now, once you've filled in your brows, if you see that you have a little bit too much product or the product looks a little bit too intense, you can go in with the other side of the pencil, which is a spoolie, and just brush through the hairs, and that will help to fade out the color somewhat. So you can do that if you think you have too intense of a line or the brows look like too much product is applied. Then this final step is optional for you guys. It's up to you what you want to do. I use a little bit of brow gel just to make sure that those hairs stay in place and follow the shape that I created. So I just put a little bit of the Anastasia clear brow gel through them just to hold them in place. Nothing too crazy. I don't layer this on. I just put a little bit just to hold them in place. Now, another step that you can do is apply a little bit of concealer right under the brow just to clean up the shape and to give it a really crisp, sharp line. I don't do that usually because leaving it like this, it looks more natural to me. But if I was wearing eyeshadow, I would apply a little bit of concealer, about my shade of concealer or just the shade lighter, just to create a light, very subtle highlight under my brows. But don't go for this intense light eye concealer, because it will look really fake and just it's not a good look. And also, I don't apply concealer above my brows because I don't think that looks natural either. But if you're gonna do that, also use a concealer that is your shade, that's gonna blend in with your skin. Do not use a concealer that is lighter because it comes off a bit harsh and it can look intensely fake on film, in pictures, and in person. So just use a concealer that's your shade, and if you're using it under your brow, use a shade lighter, but don't go lighter than that because then it will look just too intense. Unless that's the look you're going for, to each their own. So if that's what you like, do that, but if you're going for a natural look, use a concealer that's your shade. That's the best way to approach it. So there you go, guys. Those are my brows now completed. That's how I've been wearing them lately. So hopefully you enjoyed this tutorial. Hopefully you learned some tips, some tricks. And if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments and I'll try to get back to you as quickly as possible. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.